Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultze. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you a recipe for one of my favorite Irish meals, shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie, it has to be made with lamb. If you substitute the lamb with anything else, for instance beef, it is now referred to as cottage pie. So join me now as I show you how I prepare mine. I begin with preheating a sauce pot over medium heat. Add blended oil and sweat some onions, small dice. After about 2 minutes, the onions have become translucent and very aromatic. I then like to add some minced garlic and saute that for a minute or two. After the garlic, let's add our lamb. In this case, I'm using ground lamb. But feel free to use a leg of lamb and just cube it in 1 inch or 3/4 inch cubes. So now we want to saute this. Now I like to add some salt, dried mushrooms. Give that a quick turn. Then we'll add our diced carrot and our stock. I'm using veal stock. Feel free to use lamb stock if you have it. You could use beef if you wanted to. I would not recommend using chicken stock because it's not this dark, and to better match the protein, a darker stock is best. So now we will bring this to a simmer and cook it for about 30 to 40 minutes. Now this has been simmering pretty good for about 20 minutes right now, and it is reduced significantly. What I now like to do is add my dry herbs. I have some thyme, savory, and marjoram. I also would like to thicken this a bit with some cornstarch slurry. So I add about a tablespoon or so of it and go ahead and stir that together. And you can see how quickly it pulled everything together. As this starts simmering, now is a great time to begin cooking your potatoes for the mashed potatoes. Now that I have my lamb and the stock thickened up nice and thick, I will add my peas and corn. This I add at the very end simply because all it needs to do is just to warm up. Also, I like to have my shepherd's pie, or cottage pie if I'm making, thick and liquidy like this. Now feel free to do it as many others do when they just have the loose ground lamb or beef in there. The only thing is I like it to be a little liquidier. I think it adds more flavor and obviously keeps it a lot more moist. We will let this simmer for a couple of minutes and then we are ready for assembly. For assembly, all we need to do is select a pie dish or a casserole dish of sorts. And let's go ahead and spoon in our filling. Now I like to keep mine about 3/4 of an inch or so from the top. We'll then kind of level it out, make certain that it's even. And now we want to top it with mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes, I recommend having them fairly warm to pipe them on or to spread it on. If it's cold, it really becomes challenging. So now we're going to pipe on our potatoes. Well, here we are, finishing it up. Now you don't have to pipe it if you don't want to. I just like to make it a little nicer and a little cool looking. And by the way, with my mashed potatoes, I actually put grated Reggiano, Parmigiano Reggiano into it just to enhance it that much more. Now all we need to do is bake this off in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes on 375. If this was a cold item or a leftover, you'd probably want to go at 325 for closer to 40 minutes. Well, there you have my shepherd's pie. This same recipe would work if you're making cottage pie as well. It's just a substitution of the protein. You can make it a little drier and not having so much liquid in it. However, I prefer mine to be a little saucier. It just feels less dried out. And for the potatoes, the mashed potatoes, you could, do what I did with a piping bag. You can just take an ice cream scoop or something and do little ones across, or just spread it with an offset spatula. I've even done them before with a lamb shepherd's pie, where the top I did a cauliflower and potato gratin. It's completely up to you. In this one, the mashed potatoes, I end up putting Parmigiano Reggiano in it, just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. Well, that concludes my demonstration on shepherd's pie. Feel free to subscribe and get up to date with all of our latest posts, and like us if you're enjoying the content and the variety of which I'm putting out. Thank you very much for joining us. The recipe will be below. Jó étvágyat!